Hello, superhumans. So let's talk about Keir Starmer prediction. In our video from April 2026, Christina and I said we saw him stepping down around June. Now, today is June 7th, so we're just at the beginning, so anything's possible. But I did tune in again and things have shifted, so let's kind of take a look at what's going on. When we tuned in back in April, I think it was April 26th of 2026, the energy was extremely strong, and we felt that massive pressure building against him. And honestly, I think we're pretty close. In May, after that terrible election loss for him, over 90 Labour MPs publicly called for him to resign. So there was some energy going on. That is the noise that we were picking up energetically. So it genuinely looked like he was about to be forced out of office. The collapse we felt in June was very real. The energy peaked hard and shifted. That Starmer and his inner circle managed to stabilize and stay in office. He dug in and he managed to rally support and brought himself back. So the full collapse got a little bit delayed or canceled. So that's what we're going to actually look into today. The bottom line is, I believe we were pretty accurate because we did this video back in April of, I think it was actually the day was April 26, 2026. So when I tuned in today, I think there is a big chance he's not long for the Prime Minister. And we're going to get into that next. All right, everybody out there, especially our UK cousins. Hello. We are rooting for you and your Union Jack. Get out there and be proud of your country. That's what we're hoping for. Anyway, lots going on over there in the UK. Well, around the world, but especially the UK with Keir Starmer. And I looked at when we published our last prediction video of Keir Starmer, which was April 26, 2026. And we both said that he would be out of office in June, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did.
And anyway, welcome, Christina. Thanks for joining me.
Hi.
I can't wait to hear about your energy read.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, when I tuned into him today, I was a little bit surprised, but a little bit disappointed too. And we've been hitting so many of our marks, like hitting the mark on a lot of what we've been looking at energetically. And I was like, all right, so it's June, so let's relook at Keir Starmer because in April we said he would be out of office. And I'm like, I remember asking, like, how is the man still there? Because there was this massive push in the UK, and they were like, you know what? Our enough button's been hit. We need somebody else. And that was between May 11th and May 16th. And so I do feel we were picking up on that energy that because it was so massive, right? It's like reading them, what do they call it? The energy. Oh, the Schumann resonance, how sometimes it spikes. And it was, I think at that time I was like sitting, you guys, why is it spiking? But, you could feel that energy. So anyway, so I wonder what the Heart Math Institute came up with all of that.
Right.
Anyway, do you want to share what you got and then I'll share what I got, or?
Sure, I'll start if you want.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So when I tuned in, I kind of played around with it and I asked, would Keir Starmer still be prime minister at the end of 2026. So I asked that first and I got no. Um, and then so I said, okay, so, what's the day, month, and year that, Keir Starmer would no longer be Prime Minister of the UK? I got after June 20th, so June 21st. And
Summer solstice.
yeah, that's what I got, that he would no longer be prime minister. So,
Who knows?
so
We don't know. There's like a lot of energy out there. There may be two windows that are going on, or maybe I just got it wrong. So I tuned in. My question went more like, will Keir Starmer be serving as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom um, in 2027? I started there and I got no. Okay. So will you give me the last day that he will serve as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom? And that's when I walked it back. And I actually got October, and the second week of October was the last day I got that he was going to serve as Prime Minister.
Mhm.
But again, you know what? I wish this was an exact science, you know. I
Yeah,
think I think either way he's not here in 2027 serving as Prime Minister of the
right.
United
That
Kingdom
we agree on. That we agree on
for
that
sure.
he in 2027 he's not there as prime minister. So,
So anyway, when I looked at what took him out, I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm like, inquiring minds want to know.
mhm,
Is there a scandal tied to him leaving? And the thing that surprised me with that, Christina, because everybody, if you're in politics, you're tied to some scandal, every one of them is. Whether it's made up or real, everybody's got a scandal tied to them. And so I'm like, is it tied to a scandal? And I got no. I said, is he involved in scandal? And I got yes. So I feel like his leaving or his departure is not tied specifically to a scandal, but more of the energy shift what the population is wanting,
mhm,
and that's why he's gone. It's they just don't feel he can lead them um, into a prosperous way. And I think that's what's happening there. And I don't think he leaves office tied to a scandal. I think it's just everybody's had enough button pushed. That's
mhm.
what it feels like to me.
Hmm. Yeah, I did not even think of looking
No,
at,
because I'm always asking, yeah,
at
but why? I'm like a toddler. Yeah, but why?
I didn't even think about, why. I just figured, like you said, the enough button had been hit and, you know, people are just done. So,
Yeah, yeah. People are just done. So, all right, you UK cousins out there, get your Union Jacks and start waving it. Get out there and take your country back. You guys run the country after all. So, right, before we get to King Charles, if you would, please hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss another upload on what Christina and I find next in our associated remote view. All right, let's talk about King Charles.
all right.
So, I'm going to put my neck out on this one. I still feel something is shifting for him big time this month.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I've got as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So go ahead.
so I got to thinking, we were talking earlier about how the prime minister serves at the discretion of the monarch. If there is a new monarch, uh, then perhaps there might then be a change.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that works, obviously, but I think kings and queens can inherit prime ministers.
Mhm.
So, I think it's depending on who's, has the most, what party's in power, and then
Right.
they select whoever, and when they lose the confidence. And I only know this because one of my favorite um uh movie series is Victoria.
Mhm.
So who doesn't love, or yeah, it's Victoria. Yeah, it's one of the most recent ones. I love that movie. Um so that's sort of how I figured that out. So I don't know any history there, but I do know that they are really dissatisfied over there, and they want to be able to be able, it's so crazy. I actually have clients in the UK, and it's getting to the point where you can't even post a meme without getting in some kind of trouble. And that's
Mm.
just ridiculous. So hopefully their freedom, they got to fight for it. You
Mhm.
guys have to fight for your freedom. Um, but yeah, that's interesting because I did get that too with King Charles, that I'm still in June with
Yeah.
things stopping for him. I'm not sure how it's stopping. I don't wish any ill on anybody,
Right.
just so you know. Um, but I see his reign coming to an end, whether he steps down or unfortunately succumbs to his cancer. So I don't know. I don't know. All right. Any last thoughts?
Nope. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, since this is one of the rare times that we don't agree. So,
We know, but you got to do what you got to do,
right.
right? And
Yeah.
we don't know where that energy is. We just know it's spiking. We can feel it. We can sort of extrapolate what that means. Um, Hopefully it's accurate. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's both accurate. Maybe he's like on the bubble.
Mhm.
Maybe
Yeah.
he's out and then he's in. Who knows? I can't wait to watch it unfold because this is always so interesting, and why it's so interesting to go back at our predictions and sort of look at what we saw. And I actually hate saying predictions because we're just reading where the energy is right
Right.
now, and people can change their minds and things can go in different timelines. But when you say that, that sounds like a kind of a cop out,
Mhm.
right? And I'm just giving you what I'm picking up on.
Yeah.
So anyway, one of the things Christina and I like to empower everybody with in these videos is that you can associate remote view too.
Mhm.
You just have to learn how to do it. And it does get easier when you get those trapped emotional energies out of the way.
Yeah.
And as those dissipate, you actually do come into an alignment, and you can actually get downloads a whole lot quicker. And that's the one thing that we've noticed, and we should be doing a video about that soon.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts, my dear?
Nope. I just want to see how this all plays out. I'm just super curious about how this is all going to go.
Yep, yep. All right, hang in there, our UK cousins. We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
See you later. I